poison to their kind. The forest is my body. The trees my arms, twigs and branches my fingers. Through them I touch the earth, the air and the water, and I read them as a bat reads the night. The vampires, they're tearing away my senses one by one. But they can still be restored, regrown, and through them I can see past the scorched earth and bring the battle to our enemy.
He's talking about protecting magic trees.
Your command of language never ceases to amaze me, Lady Sophie.
That's why we're such a good team, sweet. You know, only a few weeks ago, my only thought was to leave this place. You have to understand, there aren't many options for a young woman here. I'm barely 25. I wanted to do something else. But I can't think such thoughts now. I just need a bit of cheering up and CERN here. Mr. Staghead, he's a god, do you know? He tries to help. He's very romantic, but the things he writes, you can't really put on the internet for others to read. They'll think you're a bit mad in the head. I know, it's a cliché, a Romanian girl looking for love on the internet. No, I'm not desperate, I'm very picky. I would just like to meet someone, somewhere, where I can go visit and maybe fall in love. I'm only 25, not in a rush. My mother was with baby when she was 16, so it's good to wait. But it's hard to keep spirits up now, with our world coming apart. Maybe soon there won't even be somewhere else, or someone else to fall in love with. Many people in the village say it's the end of the world. I try to tell them, no, don't say such terrible things. Keep your spirits up. But no one says this to me. Even CERN, he's often wrapped up in his morose thoughts. So it's up to me to keep everyone's spirits up. Is that fair? I need some cheering up too sometimes. We live so far away from everything here. It's like being in another world. I haven't been too far away, just a few times to the city, but I know how it is out there. Different in every way. Here we don't blink an eye when a bird speaks to us, or when we see the fairies go on a hunt, or Fata Paduri change her skin, or when old Mosul wanders across the road, or when he comes into the tavern with his horns and his cape. Okay, so maybe that would have made us blink a while ago. But now, with everything happening out there, Mr. Staghead, CERN, is as close as we get to normal. We'll never be able to go back to how things were now. The law has been broken, the ancient truths forgotten, and the gates opened up. Will you be able to forget? Will all of you be able to stay quiet? I think not. I think it will be written about. And also on television and radio. Maybe even in a cinema, there will be movies about it. Computer games. Unless the world ends, of course. Then our secret will remain so. For all time. CERN is a god. Not God. He's been very clear on that. He says, I did not make this world, don't blame it on me, I only live in it. He's a god, one of many. He's a god of the forest, which, if you're going to be a god of something, it's a pretty good thing to be a god of. I've known CERN since I was 4 years old. I ran away from home when my father was drinking. He was a good man, only not so much when he was drinking. and I walked all by myself into the deep forest. It was raining and quite cold, and it was getting dark. I found a dry spot under the roots of a big tree because I didn't know the way back and was too scared and tired to walk. When he came to me, I wasn't frightened. He spoke softly to me, took my hand, and led me back out. When we could see the lights of the village, he let go of my hand. After this, I would see him often. He would stand at the edge of the forest, and I would come to him, and we would talk. When this war began, he was forced to leave his forest. He came to me, said his people were being hunted down, and I said to him, "Cern, the best thing you can do right now is come to us. Help us fight." He did this because he cares for me. He wants to protect me. But it's us who must protect them now. They're all lost without us, I think, the people of the forest. Your secret world is not so secret to us. We've lived with magic for as long as there's been a village here. We know monsters, vampires, shapeshifters, flesh eaters, ghouls, all these things. They're not just fairy tales to us. They are facts of life, like poisonous snakes and wild animals. When I was a child, I learned to respect and care for the forests and those who live in them, but also to fear the things that live in the dark places. Things that steal children, like Fata Pardui. Oh, she wasn't evil. It was never about that. There were safe places and unsafe ones, and if we walked into the unsafe places, it was only fair that we would be unsafe. Those were the laws we lived by. It's how there was balance and peace here for 500 years. We all respected the law. But now, it seems the law has been forgotten, and our world is secret no more.
You should perhaps ingest some of your own brew to make the mind pictures fade.
But I'm working, sweet. I can't drink at work. It'll pass. It always does. Sorry, I didn't see you. Was just taking a break. I'm sensitive to pain. Not my own, other people's pain. People I know and those people I don't know too, but at least only people. The Strigoi, the bloodsuckers, vampires. I don't empathize with them. Their pain does nothing to me. Them I...
Who was it this time? Who fell? Every day another falls. So many have succumbed to the vampires and to other darker things deep in our old forest. There is no safe place for any of us any longer. Not even from humans who ought to know the law.
First few days, I could barely stand up. There was death everywhere. People I've known my whole life. Villagers, farmers, my own family.
They are at rest now, Sophie. In the woods on the other side. There they run with the deer through the glades and soar with the birds into the clear blue sky.
Not everyone. Not all of them. Some deaths are incomplete. Some dead are restless and they rummage in my head. Like they're looking for something, pulling open drawers and closets. I feel them knocking about. There was much that happened down there, on the farms, when the vampires came. Horrible, horrible things. Death isn't the worst thing someone can do to you. Make sure you watch out for the dead as well as the undead when you're out there. The dead that walk are bothersome, but the dead that don't, they have stories to tell, and we need to listen.
Travel safely.
Salute!
I'm tired. Is there no hope left for us? Thou shalt not be afraid. Salut!
Hello?
You know, only a few weeks ago, my only thought was to leave this place. You have to understand, there aren't many options for a young woman here. I'm barely 25. I wanted to do something else. But I can't think such thoughts now. I just need a bit of cheering up in CERN here. Mr. Staghead, he's a god, do you know? He tries to help. He's very romantic, but the things he writes, you can't really put on the internet for others to read. They'll think you're a bit mad in the head. I know, it's a cliché, a Romanian girl looking for love on the internet. No, I'm not desperate. I'm very picky. I would just like to meet someone somewhere where I can go visit and maybe fall in love. I'm only 25, not in a rush. My mother was with baby when she was 16, so it's good to wait. But it's hard to keep spirits up now with our world coming apart. Maybe soon there won't even be somewhere else or someone else to fall in love with. Many people in the village say it's the end of the world. I try to tell them, no, don't say such terrible things. Keep your spirits up. But no one says this to me. Even CERN, he's often wrapped up in his morose thoughts. So it's up to me to keep everyone's spirits up. Is that fair? I need some cheering up too sometimes.
Ioan Potrascu. Ioan Potrascu.
Salut! Salut!
Good luck.
Special assignment received. Initializing. Critical empowerment results.
Lilith's children are rising. You've been following me? Why is that, eh? Never mind, I know why you're here. You know anything about these computers? It's not doing what I need it to do. Even a wrinkled apple can be fresh on the inside. When I was born, we had miracle machines that make this look like a Stone Age tool. And they were a damn sight easier to use, too. No, just leave it. I'll figure it out eventually. And you've more important matters to attend to. Yes, I am the owl you're looking for. But I'm afraid I don't have much in the way of answers. I'm going to tell you the same thing I've told the others. This has all happened before. Oh, yes. Vlad was the one who defeated Mara, the vampire queen. Can't tell you how, because he's been dead for half a millennium. And he neglected to tell me. But he did leave me something of his. I reckon he left a part of himself behind before he passed on, and I also reckon you'll be needing his help to take care of Mara. I never could make much sense of the man, but then he is human. and I'm not. He left it for someone like you, someone who could stand up to her. I've held on to it for 500 years. I have a long memory. That thing isn't all Vlad left. He left behind a legacy, his own little army. The Draculesti have suffered much in the 5 centuries since his death, but they are still around. In fact, they have recently come back. I've seen them in the forest. That lovely girl who uses her looking glass to spy on the vampires, and the strapping circus boy. But the one you really need to speak with is Milos, their king. He came to pay his respects when the Draculesti arrived. I liked that. Though he did speak too much and too loudly. Not a trait you share with him, I'm happy to say. If anyone knows what Vlad Dracula had prepared for Mara's inevitable rebirth, it'd be the Draculesti. The news of her return are disturbing. They herald something dark. There is great power in these mountains, and Mara seeks it. It was never simply what's on the surface with her. And I believe this vampire crusade is more of a vampire charade. But that's neither here nor there. First, you should put your mind to that thing. Someone needs to. Now, shoo! I'm going to see if I can't get this pewter to do what I want it to do. Stand out there and loiter. Come inside. Oh, I don't like to talk about myself much. I'm not so interesting, in all honesty. I'm old. I live in a tree. Sometimes I turn myself into an owl and hunt mice. I used to be someone, but that was a long, long time ago, and I don't care to remember. It was a different age, and the world has moved on. Now I live in a tree and make tea out of bark. Life's a funny old thing, isn't it? I can barely recall when I first landed on the branches of this tree so long ago. I was chasing someone from my past, from a different age. Someone who hurt my closest and dearest friend, my sister. I hunted her for so long, I almost forgot who I was. So I decided to stay. I decided I could do more good here than elsewhere. And I decided to stop hunting and start living. This has been a good place to live. At least, until now. I don't care much about your politics and intrigue. It matters very little in the scope of things. And there are more important things in life than power and prestige. I hope you'll learn that someday. Your secret world is my regular world. It's always been like that here. No walls between the mystical and magical and that of the mundane. In all honesty, I don't know too much about your normal world anymore. I left it so long ago. And while I'm curious about it, I don't think I could ever go back. But from the look of things, if we continue down this path, that might not be an option anymore.
Special assignment received. Initializing.
to be one of them. This isn't happening. Get it out of my head! Get it out! Thou shalt not be afraid. Mercy. Have mercy.
Special assignment received. Initializing.